back.
We're back.
Round 2 action.
On the left, we got Greg, Yerkes.
Yeah.
Yerkes? Might be a long Y.
No, we've got the Swedish Chef versus...
versus Stephen Comminos. So Stephen Comminos is, I would say, Cincinnati's premier Elves player. Meaning he's
in Modern, yes.
The premier Modern Elves player, meaning he's the only person I know that plays Elves in Modern.
There's some other people that play it around here, but not like with the consistency or the skill level that Steven has.
Greg's playing Dredge, which, you know.
So when I told Taylor this is what the matchup was going to be, he said, oh, so you want to watch Dredge beat up on some Elves? And I'm like, I don't think that's the way this plays out. I haven't seen this matchup, but in my mind, Dredge doesn't get to block the Elves. And the Elves get to do disgusting things about a turn and a half before the Dredge deck does.
All right. I think if Steven has I think if Steven has a Craterhoof Behemoth in his deck that he can Court of Calling for.
Okay.
I agree with you.
I think Steven can just go wide.
I just don't think you get as much damage as the Dredge deck can generate. Like,
so there's probably like one
what just
turn.
happened? Did he just not offer the cut?
Yeah.
All right, well. All right, and Steven's not going to protest, so.
Those are some nice sleeves.
Yeah, they look like, is that Nahiri the Harbinger, just in a different pose?
It's definitely a Nahiri.
All right. So here's let's see if Steven can empty his hand on this turn.
I don't know that it's going to be empty, but he's going to get a lot of mileage out of these guys.
3 mana. All right, so now he gets to attack for a bunch. I count 8 right now. 2 cards left. Cathartic Reunion? One time? Yep,
all right,
here
so
it is.
Cathartic Reunion's good. So the discard's going to be this Grave Troll.
And I think I see...
Oh, a Conflagrate. Wait, what
he had
just
to
happened?
draw... Oh, okay. We didn't finish resolving that spell. I don't think that... I would get a judge involved here as we've passed. Steven has drawn a card. So this is a little different than like a missed trigger.
Right.
Because you have to resolve the spell.
You do have to fully resolve the spell.
Alright, so Greg's going to draw 3 cards here. And choose not to dredge the Grave Troll. What do you think he's hunting for, John?
I think he's hunting for a Stinkweed Imp to block this Elvish Archdruid.
Alright, so let's see if Greg can manifest himself a Stinkweed Imp off these multiple draw steps he's got. Steven, on the other hand, has all the mana in the world.
6.
6 mana, which might as well just be all of it. Attacks for 8. All right, here's 2 more elves added to the pile.
Interested to see that did not happen in the opposite order, but
all right. So we're gonna dredge 6 here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, there's the Stinkweed Imp.
it'll be interesting to see if he can get that back and cast it this turn. That would be really interesting.
Here's another gemstone mine. Gets Conflagrate out of the yard, so he gets a lot of damage here. So what? Now Conflagrate lets you split this damage up as much as he wants, and so what he, so 2 to the Archdruid and 1 to everything else is what he should do. All right.
All right, so we're gonna deal a lot of damage to pretty much everything.
Yep.
All right,
All right. So Elves down.
so we've got a lot of elves down.
All right. So Steven's down to, it looks like 2 cards in hand. 1 Elvish Mystic in play. We're gonna cast. Have Greg lose 2 life. He's gonna dredge again here. So this is where he's gotta make some decisions.
Yeah, he's trying to decide what he's dredging. I think
He's
he
gonna
wants to get
dredge
the
for
Stinkweed
5
Imp.
here. Hopefully the Stinkweed Imp comes down to block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Narcomoeba would have been a huge one for him there,
Yep.
as he's got 2 amalgams in the graveyard.
It's only a matter of time at this point.
All right.
So attacking here isn't great. Although, you know, he can't play another blocker next turn.
I don't think Steven has other choices, to be
Right.
completely honest.
The old Nettle Sentinel.
All right, so now Greg probably wants to dredge back life from the loam. Nope.
Man. So we have no Bloodghast or Narcomoebas hit yet.
All right.
That's interesting.
All right. Yeah, Dredge. Greg really needs to hit, I think, life from the loam this turn.
Oh, this Azuri could be a very big deal.
Yeah. This is already could spell the end. Nope. Well, here's 6. All right. He's choosing life from the loam. I think what he has to do is he has to, now that he's looking at death next turn,
Right.
he has to consider
He's not technically looking at death. He's looking at 5.
any land.
Any land would do it.
All right, rolls off 3. 1, 2, 3. Now there's a Bloodghast. That helps.
It doesn't, though. It doesn't even help a little bit.
It gives him board presence.
Okay.
And that matters. Now here he has to be careful to not get fetch lands. This Mana Confluence would also be very bad. Yeah, get that Dark Slick Shores. That's a great one right now.
It's interesting. I don't know what he needs the blue mana for in this, but I guess if he wants to hardcast the amalgams.
Yeah, that can happen. I just want him to get lands that come into play untapped that don't deal him damage.
That's fair.
And I think that's the last one. It's just Alright, so here's amalgams.
So any land,
Yeah, so he's got a
and Steven takes this game.
he's got to fade a land draw from Steven, as they say. Don't think it was a land.
It could be an
Also,
Elvish
Shaman of the
Archdruid.
Pack.
Yeah, Elvish Archdruid, Shaman of the Pack.
Collected company into either of those things.
Elvish
Elvish
Archdruid.
Archdruid for the win. All right. That's game one. A little handshake.
Yeah, it was a pretty weak handshake as far as handshakes go. There's a lot of
I think there's a lot of hesitation
lipness.
because we're on game one. So the Dredge sideboard here. Conflagrate was a huge card for him.
Yeah, Conflag was huge. No doubt.
Conflagrate?
Yeah.
Okay. So out of the sideboard, Dark Blast is a card that's in this Dredge sideboard, right?
Not traditionally. Some decks run it.
Okay, all right. I guess I played a lot of Modern this weekend. I saw Dark Blast in the one Dredge matchup I had to play.
Yeah, like sometimes it's a one of.
Okay.
If
This
you
guy
run
was
that
also on a Fetch Shock mana base,
right,
which I don't know if that's the ideal or
I
what.
don't think so. But there's a lot of debate. I mean, the margin between the two is very slim. The thing with the Fetch Shock mana base is that you can activate your Bloodghast at instant speed,
Sure.
which can be relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, debate's not always something you just find at the fishing store, so.
That's a true statement.
So if you're in this Elves deck, he has got to have some sort of relic or Nile Spellbomb. I know he has access to some black mana.
Yeah. Cannot play the Elvish Soul Tiller, unfortunately.
No Soul Tillers.
No Soul Tillers. That was printed in Legions.
Okay, and that makes it illegal for the Modern format.
Yeah, you can't play that in Modern.
Can I play it in Frontier?
No.
All right. So
You can't play it in
Elvish-
Legacy, though.
Elvish Soul Tiller, just the Legacy Elves card.
Yeah. Not
And
even
for
that.
the ever fringe vintage Elves.
Oh, sure.
Very fringe in that metagame.
Yeah. He could play Loaming Shaman.
He could play I wouldn't want to.
You don't want to play Loaming Shaman?
No, that card seems soft.
It's not great. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I would just want to be on like a Relic of Progenitus or a Nile Spellbomb.
Okay.
More likely a Relic of Progenitus.
So the issue is I don't think either of those cards do a good job of promoting your own strategy.
Yeah, I just don't think against the Dredge deck you care.
Okay.
I
That's
think
fair.
if you can exile a Prized Amalgam or two, you should be more than happy to play the card.
That's fine.
That's just my 2 cents.
Those are 2 cents well spent, sir.
I'm just a guy in a small card shop in Midwest America talking about my favorite thing in the world with one of my best friends I've ever had. I'm a simple man.
I'm a simple man.
My father is a carpenter.
Your father is a carpenter.
So I come down. I'm upstairs today, and I hear my dad banging a hammer on something. And my dad is not a carpenter anymore. He's a very frail man. And I come downstairs like, what the hell's going on? My dad is using a full-blown 16-ounce framing hammer to crush pills. And I'm just like, have at it, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, you do it.
Whatever you got to do.
Yeah. As long as he's taking them, I don't have to,
Sure.
make sure he,
So Greg's going down to 6 again. I got a little peek at Steven's hand. It looks pretty solid.
Is it good? I want to see Greg with another turn 2 Cathartic Reunion. I thought that was a strong start from him.
It was pretty good. You definitely want to see the Cathartic Reunion early.
Yeah, he's got some cards in the deck that can help answer the Elves deck, and he got to go look for him. That was great.
I think the real key there was the Conflagrate.
Right, and he got to discard that to none other than the Cathartic Reunion.
Cathartic Reunion.
All
Down
right,
to
going
5,
down to
though.
Going down to 5. This is not where you want to be as the Dredge deck.
Not in this matchup. Typically, going down to 5 is fine.
Because you really only need like the draw spell and the dredger.
Right.
Lots of shuffling. Um. So yeah, like any two lands, Cathartic Reunion, Grave Troll is good enough. Good enough for the girls I go out with.
All right.
Uh, so that's a 5 I would build.
That's 4 cards.
You can the fifth card doesn't matter.
Okay.
Fifth card could be the 3 of clubs.
This hand's a solid one.
Yeah, we got a Neonate.
I don't think we have a red mana, which could be an issue. That might be overgrown to him.
Concur. There's a tapped overgrown too.
That's not good. So that's one of the benefits
resources in
of
the deck.
playing like all of the multicolored lands.
Here we go. Take some damage here. Yeah, and he's got a Stinkweed Imp to dredge back off the Neonate.
I think he's got a Grave Troll.
Oh, is that? I saw a Stinkweed for sure. He might have a Grave. If he has a Grave Troll, even better.
Even better.
+1 on the dredge. There's a reason they're banning that guy.
Yes, there is. Hopefully we'll get to see what kind of hate Steven brought in. I don't see any in his hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's no real. I mean, like you said, he wants a card that advances his game plan and hates on dredge.
Sure.
And just good luck with that. You know, it's tough to find that overlap. Here's an Elvish Archdruid. Now he should activate this neonated end of turn for sure. Please. Yup.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't have the Grave Troll. Guess I'm just an idiot.
2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Oh, now he gets to dredge again on his draw step. There's Bloodghast.
Scourge Devil.
Scourge Devil. That's kind of in the last evolution of the deck. So now with the Scourge Devil in the yard, I would play a Stinkweed Imp here.
Yeah, Stinkweed Imp's a pretty good play here. Especially since you're going to have to get a little bit defensive because you didn't come out the gates very strong.
Alright. Steven's
going to get a lot of action this turn.
correct. He's got a lot of mana available to him. And
I think we start off with his Nettle Sentinel.
so when you have Elvish Archdruid in play, 1-drop elves are basically free that turn. So he gets to put as many of those as he'd like into play. There's 4 mana. Alright.
So Greg down to 10.
Yep, it's a big start. So now, if you're Steven, I would get in with this 2/2 Elvish Mystic that's not summoning sick, because
I think it represents 2 damage next turn, though. I don't know that that's where I want to be. So, like, the game plan is definitely to go wide.
sure.
And if he's just going to cast a Stinkweed up again next turn.
For sure. Steven's got a Horizon Canopy in his hand, so we want to get back. I don't know. Let's just hit the Grave Troll, man. Because if you hit any amount of Nargamoebas here with the Scourge Devil in your graveyard, those are live. It gives everybody +1 in haste.
I don't know that we've seen any Narcomoebas in this deck.
5, 6. All right, there's the Dark Blast I hypothesized.
Dark Blast is a little worse here until he can get rid of this Archdruid.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any cards that do that directly.
Like Conflagrate will, but he needs to get a Life from the Loam going to make Conflagrate worthwhile, and he doesn't even have a Conflagrate, it looks like, in his yard.
Yeah, this is interesting. He's got to make a decision about when this... What I would do is I would attack in with the Blood Gas, try and earn a block from Steven, and then you get to play a land, put the Blood Gas back into play, and trigger the other Prized Amalgam.
Sure.
And that's going to build your board some. Alright, so he's committed to attacking now. He's at 10. I don't think this is a good idea. Alright, so hedges.
So there's no good blocks for Steven on this Blood Gas now that it's 3.
Yeah, and Steven's life total is at 20. He doesn't really need to worry.
So
Greater Hoof
this
off the top one time.
Scourge Devil is exiled.
There you go. Our spotter picked that up too. Good job. Good team. Here's a foil Horizon Canopy.
And I think he missed the Prized Amalgam trigger, but you're allowed to do that. 4 mana. Oh, a Collected Company.
Sure. And if this hits Azuri, it's game over.
No Azuri.
Can also hit Shaman of the Pack for game over.
None of that either. It's looking like Nettle Sentinel and Dwynen's Elite. Or Dwynen's Elite and Essence Warden.
Alright, so Essence Warden's going to gain him 2 life. Those are going to be set aside.
So at 10, let's see, he has 2 blocks. He can block the 2 Nettle Sentinels, and he's still getting in for...
Blocks a Shaman and Nettle Sentinel.
Yeah, he's... Looks like he's still dead here.
Yep. I think that's it. Yeah, here's everybody. Alright.
So
we
there it
watched
is.
Elves come through in convincing fashion. Comes back from a big Conflagrate that turned on game 1.
Yeah, the Conflagrate was a big deal in Game 1. I don't know if Greg has Narcomoebas in his deck. I don't know what he would be running over Narcomoebas, but we didn't see any in either game. That's really weird for Dredge.
Right.